Good old ginger and lemon tea. Now, if you're thinking, Spoon, what in the hell are you doing? Are you actually going to talk about some bint of a Twitch streamer? Yes, I am. But before I get into that, a couple of things I need to address here. First off, for the new people, normally what I would do, mainly to establish some form of credibility and good etiquette, is tackle somebody's argument first before or in spite of some personal attacks. Otherwise, it just comes off as a bit of a cheap shot. However, due to the uniqueness of this particular scenario, my argument involves taking the gloves off so that previous strategy can bollock off out the window. So in case any sims come sniffing at this, be warned, I intend to go blunt force trauma and leave nothing but bones in my wake. Now, having said that, I have to be very careful with how I phrase this, because apparently, once someone has reached a certain level of following in the public sphere, you can't speak about them without being branded as a grifter or some clout chaser. I had no idea that once you reach a certain level of fame, you somehow magically become immune to any criticism. This is according to some shithead in my comments section in that Jordan Peterson video. I had that comment up beforehand, and when I went back to go and find it, it was gone. I wonder why. It's probably a good thing as well that it was taken down, because if I ever find out who wrote that, I will troll the fuck out of you. But anyway, back to Pokimane. Let me say this. I will never understand the streaming chick culture. Their profession, so-called, follows the exact same script as strippers. You have people throwing money at you for a service you are providing because of your sex. Plain and simple. And we all know this to be the case, because if you replace the streamer and have them say the same thing, do the same thing, but one is vastly more popular than the other, especially with a male audience, for example, guess why they're popular? It's because they have tatas in a vagina. Cut the BS, you're fooling no one. I will say this, any boy who's given any money to these creatures, you're a pathetic disgrace to your sex, and your parents are failures. And I'm not going to apologize for that. The thing is, I can even understand getting a lap dance from, say, some chick in a strip joint, because you're getting one-on-one attention that you paid for, if only temporarily. Whereas with Twitch, it's not even that real. You're just text on a screen. Hundreds of people are engaging with the same person as you in real time. There's nothing that separates you from anyone else, aside from the name on the screen and the amount you paid. The de-individuation is so cranked, there's nothing special about you at all aside from the fiscal donation, that any self-respecting male would pay real money for fake attention is the single saddest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Now, as much as I want to rag on these creatures for this abominable behavior, they are just the byproduct of technological advancement and cultural decay. Forces in social media are ruining the social fabric, and the market has stepped in to create this deplorably poor alternative. Now you can say, oh, they should know and be better. That's utopian idealism. These creatures won't do that. They make bank for doing next to nothing. There's no incentive for them to change. But let's see what she said.
Twitch chat brain. I would like to facilitate the creation of legislation that holds people accountable for the actions that they do online. I don't know if I should get into the details because it might rattle some folks, but yes. I think there are some companies that I'm going to message, or not companies, organizations that are involved with certain causes, and I'll be like, listen, if you ever need someone to, I'm your girl. Because I think if you want to pass a bill, you usually go in front of a group of politicians and you explain your cause. I'm like, I'll do it. I will do it. I have so many things to say.
Oh, have the state come in and regulate what constitutes bad behavior online. What could possibly go wrong? You have to be out of your mind, or don't have one to begin with, and be a complete idiot and know nothing about the real world, the nature of power and government. Case in point. If you profess you don't even know how bills get passed, but you somehow want to advocate for the creation of one, that's some sub-AOC IQ level shit, that is. And again, it's always the XX variety that pulls this BS. If the comment sections are anything to go by, she's apparently copped some flack recently for adding some pounds, and I have no sympathy. If your entire fiscal well-being is based on your appearance, those so-called trolls and haters are your best critics, and they're free. You want to live in a world where no one ever tells you your flaws and you never improve ever? You'll hemorrhage views and you'll drive yourself insane and you won't know why. Good luck with that.
I will stream and I'll get a bunch of comments. Have you lost weight? Next day, have you gained weight?
No one is saying you lost weight, honey. Lol.
check my last stream. Also, I feel so weird. You must be such a mean person to send money to say that. Like, it's both pathetic and frightening.
Cheered 500 bits. Wow. You're so weird, dude. Unsubbed.
I really hope you do. I hope you also go get some therapy.
Maybe it's that. Oh, and by the way, Internet 101 here, never tell people what pisses you off because they're gonna do it over and over again. Idiots. If you can't handle your appearance being criticized online, then don't put it out on the internet. Problem solved. Simplest solution, people. But no, we get these entitled little brats like this one who get their fifis hurt, and then they want to change everything around them to suit their whims. What selfish gimps. I don't know why I keep using that word, just rolls off the tongue quite nicely. Now, the reason this whole thing irked me, aside from the colossal mountain of retardation and getting the state involved in deciding what qualifies as trolling online, is the particulars around this phenomenon. If you've ever read Intellectuals in Society by Thomas Sowell, you get this insight into the cultural atmosphere surrounding public intellectuals, individuals who, through academia, feel they possess, or rather can convince the public they possess, some high level of intelligence overall due to being particularly proficient at some or other intellectual field, as opposed to what they really are, which is just a specialist, no more. And when they speak about anything else outside of that specialization, they're just as ignorant as anybody else. And now, because of our technologically advanced communication apparatus in the 21st century, we have a bastardized version of this, with even less quality control, and it runs on a currency we call influence, aka subscriber count, followers, etc., etc. And because of this accessibility, the state regime can and will try and worm its way into contact with these high sub count and follower individuals in order to manipulate public opinion. This is why you get athletes and actors who stump for politicians or causes. They get paid to pull that crap. Like in the case of the only black dude who China likes because he knows how to get on his knees and kiss ring like the good little obedient peasant that he is, LeBron James. And if they happen to present a threat to the regime or they don't play ball, the regime will use other avenues to try and damage them, attacks on payment processes, smear pieces, or try and suppress their message via the FBI in some cases. This is why our system of government is such an Orwellian nightmare. People think, oh, democracy is so great. Why is democracy good, but politics bad? They're synonyms. How on earth did we wind up with a political system that automatically splinters into factions, hence birthing animosity, and people are at each other's throats constantly? Meanwhile, the political class makes off with everyone's frickin' money. Oh, but we can choose our representatives, who everyone hates and are universally renowned as the most dishonest, power-hungry, sociopathic cretins in all of society that do absolutely nothing but line their own pockets and increase their own power at every chance they get. But the second you want to get rid of this unholy monstrosity that's full of people no one likes, suddenly you're the problematic authoritarian. Am I the only one that finds that kind of weird? So when you look at this whole scenario through that kind of a lens, people like Pokimane are mere useful idiots. Because of course the state's going to listen to them. They're advocating for more power into the hands of the state. That's not a slippery slope, that's a damn cliff dive. So all of you two-bit bins, if you know nothing about politics, do us all a favor, don't vote, and most importantly, spare us your ignorant political takes and shut the fuck up.